Hello, hello, hello. So we are live. You're welcome to another episode of Smart Parenting webinar with Oluwatoyin Ogunkomi. And today, oh my goodness, I have people typing that are waiting. And today we have another interesting topic. And this topic is protecting our children from online predators. So while we wait for other people to join, I'm going to share a video that I'd like us to watch. While we're watching, whatever thing we learn from the video is just it's a 9 minutes video, but I'm going to show just about 3 minutes. So I start my lessons exactly 8:05. So while we are watching the video, I would like us to let me see, share my screen. Let me see, how do I do that? Okay, let me see. Yeah, no, not this one. Windows. Let me see the entire screen. Okay, I want to show a video, and okay, this is it. I hope this is it. I'm going to share a video about predators and what some parents or some people have discovered. So I'm going to share. I'm going to share about 4 minutes of this video. Then I go straight into my session. Please, if you can see this video, I'd like you to type it in our please just type if you can see the video, please. Thank you. If you can see the video, please let me know. Just type I can see the video. No volume. Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me see. Can you hear now? Can you hear the volume? Please, if you can hear the volume, let me know. If not, I'll just share this. I'll share the link to the video. Oh, you can hear me, but can I hear the video? Oh my goodness. Okay, so what I'll do is that I'll just stop the video. Then I'll share the link to the video so that parents can watch it by themselves. I'll post the link to the WhatsApp group and I'll also post the link on the group here. So sorry about this. So I want to stop it now. Okay, so I'm back. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to share the link of the video. I'll post it on our group, and we can always watch the video later. But the essence of this, basically, of the video is for us to see that online predators are just a click away. Online predators are just a click away. I know in the past we used to say stranger danger, oh, I don't want my children to get involved, blah, 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 blah. I don't want my child to see strangers. I don't want my children to have any connection with stranger. Unfortunately, these same children are given laptops, devices, phones, gadgets, whereby they are just a click away from strangers. So I want to share my slide. When I share my slide, I would have the conversation. I like to, for those who are visual learners, you would also, let me see, share my slide. Where are you? Where are you? Just a minute, please. If you can see my slide, please let me know. Can you see my slide? If you can see my slide, please let me know. Can you see my slide? Can you see my slide? If you can see my slide, please let me know you can see my slide. Just say yes or type one. I can see your slide. If you can see my slide, type one. I can see your slide. Yep. Okay. Thank you so much. So, this is it. Today we're talking about We're talking about how we can protect our children from online predators. Prior to now, predators were people on the street, people around us, even people known to us. And we've trained our children on how, oh, don't talk to strangers. When you talk to a stranger, you know what's going to happen. Unfortunately, these strangers are just a click away. These strangers are just a click away. And because of that, I'm going to share a lot about stranger dangers and online predators. So let's go. So the essence of this training is to for parents to understand who a predator is, the grooming process of predators, and also how we can take action to keep our child safe in the digital world. Now, when we talk of predators, who is a predator? A predator is anyone who is an adult or an older individual who lures younger children into doing things they're not meant to do. This is me just paraphrasing. Now, the new face of danger is that we have online predators and we have those who groom these children. And for parents, they need to know. Parents, educators, even the child needs to know what is happening and how they can protect themselves. Recently, I my housekeeper, she got her daughter a internet enabled phone, and there was a day she was in my house cleaning in my house when um she was with her daughter's phone, and while with the daughter's phone, the phone rang, and on picking the phone, she just saw a naked man. She said she just screamed, "What is this?" So the next day when I was at home, she was telling me, I was like, okay, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to, I was just telling her what we're going to do. That was how the guy called again. So I was the one that picked the call, and I was like, yes, who are you? Who do you want to speak to? Trying to threaten the guy. The guy knows what the guy was not threatened though. Hey, the guy was not threatened. Instead, the guy was, so I told the lady, my housekeeper, you have to block this person, and so you have to teach your child about online predators. So for those who do not know me and you're just seeing me for the first time, my name is Oluwatoyin Ogunkomi. I'm a family psychologist. I'm also an addiction specialist. I am also a child and adolescent mental health advocate. And part of the things I do is that I advocate and I promote the emotional wellness amongst children, adolescents, and their families. I've been doing this for over a decade now, and I work with schools, I work with families, I work with organization. Any organization where there's a child, I work with them. Any setting in the society where there's a child and there's a family, I work with them. So be it church, be it school, be it NGOs, I work with them. And one of the things I also did was I realized that there's this need for parents to know more about child and adolescent mental health. That was why I started and I created the Smart Parenting Child and Adolescent Mental Health Summit. This is a summit that we run every year in the month of October that brings together experts, parents, and educators to address and speak about the misconception and how we can promote evidence-based parenting to help our children. So that's just me in a nutshell. So let's go straight into our topic. So what is what is this threat? What is this threat we're talking about? So like I said when I started, I used to be traditional stranger danger warning, but that is no longer what we should be focusing on, because our children don't really go out unlike before. They're all indoors, and unfortunately this danger or these predators are people. Not They're not invincible, but they're also invisible because they hide behind the screen and they use fake profiles. And there's an increase, about 300% increase in online enticement reports. Now, these online threats or these groomers, they exploit that. You find them on social media, you find them on gaming apps, you find them on messaging apps, and they are just there to look for children. And one of the things they do is that they they disguise as children, they disguise as adults. They are online, their profile is showing the profile of a young person. Maybe they're like 30, some will have them 40, some will have them 50, like that. And because they are online disguised as children, young children would add them, adolescents would add them, and they just want to connect with them. Online predators don't look dangerous, they look like their friends. And that's why parents need to be very, very vigilant on what their children are doing online. So what is online grooming? This is a process, it's a deliberate process. This is not an accident thing, it's a deliberate process whereby an predator builds trust with a child and their family to do what? To manipulate them into sexual exploitation or abuse. I don't know how many of us are on the parenting support platform. I posted a small I wrote something on the Epinson files, the case of the Epinson, Jeffrey Epinson, and how he groomed these young children to become, will I call them a sex slave? Yes, a sex slave. So grooming is a deliberate process. Grooming is not something that happens by accident. The person, most times, they always look for children, or they look for adolescents who are vulnerable. And how does this process start? It often starts with a fake profile. I said that earlier. They pose as children. Some of them even pose as celebrities. Some of them pose as trusted adults. And they do this just to get the child. So for parents, it's important that you know who your friends are friends with online. It's important that you have this discussion with your children, that it's not everybody that asks to be your friend online is meant to be your friend. And another thing they do is that they add their other friends, so that when the child is looking at, okay, where do I know this person from? The person will say, oh, we have friends in common. And because the child sees that they have friends in common, the child will just add the friend to their social media platform. So it's important that your children should also ask these other friends, oh, I noticed this person is trying to hurt me, and I can see that you are this person's friend. Do you know him? Do you know her? It's very important that they ask these questions. Now, the question is, how fast does grooming start? If we had watched that film, I'm going to share the film. If we had watched that film, we would have seen less than 1 hour grooming starts. So the film I showed, the film I was showing, the woman organization is an IT firm, and it is disguised as children, so that they actually, so they collect data. So they wanted to find out how soon will an with a predator reach out to them. They logged on, they launched the girl's profile, and you will not believe it, less than 1 hour, about 20 minutes, about 20 minutes, they they connected with the child, and they started the grooming process immediately. So our children should know that they need to be aware. Awareness is the first line of defense. Once you know that it's not everybody online that is online to be your friend, some are online to harm you, to take advantage of you. Our children should be aware of this. Now, there are 5 stages in the grooming process. There are 5 stages. And this 5 stage, the first stage is targeting. Like I said, when I define what the grooming process, I said grooming is intentional process, is a deliberate process. So what do? They target children who are lonely, who have overshared, children who they seem like they're, these children seem, there might be some, these children are like lonely, these children feel vulnerable. That's what I was looking for. So they target children who are vulnerable, so that these children might not, so children that don't have anybody either in their lives, or children who do not have, who don't have parents that they're answerable to. That's the first stage. The second stage is that they now build trust. They now start talking about shared interests. When I said they look for people that overshare online. So maybe your child has overshared that, oh, I love football, or oh, I love this. Then also they will connect with the child, and they will say, oh, really? Oh, I love football too. Oh, who's your best football player? Maybe the person says Ronaldo. Oh, Ronaldo is my best football player too. And before you know it, the children have things in common with the predator. Unknown to the child, the predator is not a child, the predator is a full-blown adult. So that's the second stage. So the first stage is targeting the vulnerable person. The second stage is building trust, share interest, they compliment the child. You just see that this person is always liking your picture, this person is always dropping comments, oh, you look good, oh, sweet. Look, person is always, and you're wondering, to you, for the child might be feeling, oh, I'm special, I'm a celebrity, Unknown to the child, that person is just trying to groom the child. The third process is they now start feeling the child's emotional need. So, for example, a child that is lonely, they look for children that do not have plenty friends. They now start talking about, oh, I like you, every day, come online by 5 p.m. And you see your child too is always excited to be online by 5 p.m. Oh, I just met this new friend. I want to talk to, and bagam the child. So it's very important as adults that we are observant of what our children are doing, so that it will be easy for us to identify when or if they are being groomed. Now, like I said, emotional support, the predator starts giving emotional support, start feeding emotional needs. For some of them, they might start giving them gifts, false promises. Oh, I wish I can see you. Oh, don't worry, when next we I'll help you out. They start promising fake promises Then the next is they now start isolating the child. So once they've gained the trust of the child, once they've gained the trust of the child, once they've been able to feel the child's emotional need, they now start isolating the child. They start isolating the child in such a way that the child now becomes so endeared. Oh, my friend, my friend, my friend. And they now start talking about secrecy. Oh, don't tell anybody, don't do this. Or they want to move the child off that social media platform, maybe to an encrypted platform whereby their chat will be deleted almost immediately. Or they'll tell the child, you know what, just delete our chat, delete our chat. And that is how the grooming process starts. And that is how the child is being groomed by a predator. Now, what are the warning signs? What are the things you need to watch out? What are the things your children need to watch out for? And what are the things you also need to tell your children? Because this lesson is not for you to just assimilate and no, but it's for you to also go back home and teach your children. So, what are the warning signs of this grooming process? Number one, the your child is getting excessive attention from this person. Who is this person that is always showering you with so much good words and all that? The second is the person send surprise gifts, maybe online gifts, maybe in case they met themselves online, maybe on a gaming app. The person might be sending gifts to the child online on the gaming, if not the physical gifts. All those online gifts they can convert. I heard some of them can convert it to, they can monetize them and all that. Then the person starts asking the child to either delete their chat, or to keep their conversation private, or to move to an encrypted app whereby nobody can see their conversation. So these are signs your children need to know about. Then the next is if the person starts pushing boundaries, like the person starts talking, having sexual talk. Oh, how old are you? Or do you have a boyfriend? Or do you have a girlfriend? Have you had sex before? Or have you started your as in unnecessary questions that have nothing to do with questions that the answers has nothing to do with this person. The person starts pushing boundary. So if the child is the child that doesn't know how to shut this conversation down, the child will start giving the person information, start oversharing. And the moment the predator sees that, oh, this child is oversharing, or this child is answering my question, the child might go to the next stage, and the predator might go to the next stage and say, oh, can you show me pictures of can you send me your pictures? Or, oh, can you send me pictures of you with your bra? And start asking for unnecessary things. Now, there are some behavioral changes you see in your children. You notice that your child no longer is withdrawing from friends. Your child has some gifts you cannot that you know that you didn't give this gift to the child, or you didn't buy those things for the child. And that's why it's very important. When your children comes back from school, ask them questions. When you see strange things in their room, ask questions. Oh, where did you get this from? Who gave this to you? And that's why it's important as families to have family values around gifts. What are your rules around gifts? Are your children allowed to collect gifts from people? Even if your child is allowed to collect gift, what is the value of the gift? I remember there was a time that my oldest son, when he was in high school, then he's out of university now working, when someone gave him a gift, and the gift was very expensive, and I told him, know our rules around gifts, especially a gift that is as expensive as this, you have to return it. And I said, you have to return it. And he returned the gift. So when you start seeing unexplained gifts, when you start noticing the child is withdrawing from friends that and start having new friends, online friends, you need to be wary, and you need to have conversation with your child about that. When your child suddenly becomes secretive about their online activities, when you go back to check their chat or whatever it is they're doing online, notice that the child has cleared the search, what do they call this search thing online. you know That means there's something happening, and you need to be very, 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 very you need to know more about what's happening. So we also need to speak to our children, let them know that there are times when trust will turn to trust. So the predator started by becoming friendly, started by building trust. The next thing is that the predator will now start threatening the child. If you don't do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to I'm going to, they start threatening the child. And when they start threatening this child, this is to make the child afraid, so that they don't talk to their parents. So you start seeing your child becoming anxious and hypervigilant. Ask questions. What is happening? Why? What are you doing online? It's very important that we know these things early, so that it will help our children. As we're joining, please, I'd like you to write where you're watching from. Tell us where you're watching from. As you're joining, please tell us where you're watching from. Also, have you noticed any strange, and if you have children that are adolescents, let's know what have you learned, what have you learned so far. Have you noticed any of this? I remember when I did this session in a school, a lot of parents were like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. It was like an eye opener to them. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So as you're joining, as you're listening, for those that just joined, my name is Oluwatoyin Ogunkomi. I'm a family psychologist. I'm also a child and adolescent mental health advocate. And we're talking about how you can protect your children from online predators. I started by talking about what online predators are. We went into the grooming process. Now I'm talking about when trust turns to threat. This is one topic I'm really, really, really um I'm really into, because I've seen a lot of, especially with this new age of children or adolescent meeting opposite sex online. And the next thing, there was a particular patient I worked with recently. She met the guy online. She started dating the guy online. They came together, and guess what? The guy introduced her to drugs. Now, not just did the guy introduce her to drugs, the guy also introduced her to some unawesome sexual activities. And parents are at home, they don't know what's happening to their children. They just assume their children are, going, everything is fine, fine, fine. Unknown to them that children have done things that even you as an adult, when you hear, you will scream. So I'm very particular about this topic: online predators, what your children are doing online. We started this topic at the beginning of this month: digital parenting, how we can train our children to do the right things online, how to behave online, what they need to do online, where they need to go online, how their behaviors online, how they can moderate and guide their behaviors online. That's what digital parenting is about. Last week we spoke about screening and gaming addiction. In case you were not part of the class last week, just check. For those of us that are in the parenting platform, you can check on the parenting platform. The link is still there. And for those of you that are not on the parenting platform, you can go on the YouTube and check for my YouTube page, and you see the video there. So let's go back. So when trust turns to threat, like I said the grooming process starts by the predator identifying vulnerable children. The next thing is to build trust with them. Then there becomes a stage when this trust turns to threat. Child begins to When the adult begins to say nasty things to the child, and to make the child feel uncomfortable. So there's some risky online behavior that your children needs to understand, and also this can also help them and protect them. So the first thing is they need to know that it's not all strangers online are not strangers. Some of them, like I said, there are people that have deliberately identified a vulnerable child, and they start grooming this child. Some of them can actually be family friends, some of them can be distant relatives, some of them can be trusted figures in the community. So it's not all predators that are anonymous strangers online. Now, for those of them that are anonymous, they use false identity, right? They use false identity. They try to misrepresent themselves by either changing their age, changing their gender, and with the intention of grooming this child or grooming a child. So a teenager online might actually be a 40-year-old man in reality, or a young adult online might actually be a woman. So maybe the person is presenting herself as a man. So there's a lot of misrepresentation online with these groomers. Now we need to teach our children that it's not everybody that asks them to befriend them that should be their friend. It's not everybody that say, let me be your friend now. No, let teach them to pause and ask question. It's not every relationship online. It's not everybody that they meet online that should be their friend. Who is this person? Have I ever met this person in real life? Do we have friends in common? If we have friends in common, ask the other friends, oh, I noticed that this person is trying to add me. Is he your friend? Where did you meet him? Just ask questions, very important. Now, practical steps to protect your children online. Before I go into that, I also want to talk about the Nigerian landscape, about when it comes to how we can protect our children from I want to talk about the statistics in Nigeria. So there's an increase. So for those of us that are from Nigeria, this like a report about Nigerian. And the good thing about is that the National Assembly, they they created a law, they passed a bill, the New Child Online Protection Bill. This bill was passed in December 2025, which is this is something that's really really good. It was sponsored by House of Rep Olumide Oshoba, and the bill is about strict the bill is to protect children from online exploitation, cyberbullying, and harmful content. And it also mandated stricter platform accountability and also content restriction for internet service providers. And this is something that is really, really good. At least thank God that Nigeria is taking a better step or a good step in protecting our children. Now, I've spoken about how we can understand grooming and stranger danger online. We've spoken about what the grooming process is. They target the child, they build trust, they get the child to, get the child to know them. Then they now exploit and silence the child. How do they exploit and silence the child? They do this by threatening the child. That was the last thing I spoke about. Now, how can we protect our children? So we have real stories of in Nigeria. So I'm localizing this now to parents who are based in Nigeria or Nigerian parents. We have predators who have used WhatsApp and Instagram to lure Nigerian children. They often start with compliments, gifts before the demand turn into sinister. Some of these victims are frequently too scared or ashamed to talk to their parents or their teachers because of what has happened to them. And that's why it's always important as parents that we have an open channel of communication with our children. If you've been following me for long, you know that this is something I always talk about. Open channel of communication is very, very important. Our children should be able to speak with us. Okay, so I've spoken about the signs of online bullying and social withdrawal, emotional distress, secretive behavior, unexplained gift. When you see your child always coming home with gifts, money, phones, especially phones, or they have crypto accounts. This for those that have adolescents and young adults. These are times you need to ask questions. And I spoke about one of the patients I worked with recently who met a boyfriend online, and on meeting this boyfriend in real life, they introduce drugs into it, introduce a lot of sexual perversion and a lot of negative things. So please, we need to have conversations with our children very, very often. So cyberbullying, this is another part that we need to also look at. So it's not just online predators. So the dangers of online now is not just about the predators, but also cyberbullying. And some of this bullying for some of our students actually starts from class, school. So the child is being bullied in school. The next thing, they go online and they continue the bullying. I remember my daughter was telling me about some of her classmates that were bullied, when they just started school then, and she was like, online, they said a lot of negative things about the person, and on getting to school, they just try to isolate the child, the person, and she was like, no, you guys can't do this now. What's the meaning of this? What has this person done to you? Defender of the universe. And that's how she got she befriend these people, and till now those people are still her friends. So back to cyberbullying. Cyberbullying does not end in school. It follows some children home into their bedroom, where they feel inescapable. They get a lot of messages that is harassing them. They get a lot of posts online, humiliating videos. Maybe they post their picture and they put their picture, maybe their face on something that is not nice, humiliating videos or pictures, being excluded from, this is the one that my daughter told me about, right? No, excluding the children from group chats, isolating the child. When even in school, they don't talk to them in school, then they take them out of group chats. Come on, that was really, really bad, right? And these are linked to depression, anxiety, and school avoidance. In fact, there was one of the child that my daughter said, if I even met with the parents, this particular girl's mom was like, can you imagine? My daughter didn't want to be going to school again. She was afraid that they were going to bully her. I know that she went to this school, and thank God the mom was one that was very, very proactive. She noticed this on time, and she was able to address it. Now, Nigerian schools increasingly has cases of bullying, and not just physical bullying, also cyberbullying, which are directly linked to or tied to Instagram, TikTok, and WhatsApp group. So it's important as parents for us to know that your child might not report they're being bullied because they're afraid that you will take their devices from them. And to them, their devices is the only thing keeping them, um, allowing them to, like that is like their coping mechanism. And because of this, they will not tell you that they're being bullied. And that's why it's very important as parents that we actually observe what is happening to our children so that we can help them fast. So what I'm going to switch again. So, what are the practical steps we can do to protect our children online? Number one, as parents, you need to get yourself informed. I'm going to post that video. I'm going to post the link of that video on the WhatsApp group, and I also post the link of the video on this on this live. When I'm done, I'm going to post the link. Get yourself educated. Get yourself, be knowledgeable as a parent. Ignorance is no longer an excuse. You cannot say you didn't know. And that's why we keep encouraging parents to come for parenting classes, enroll for parenting classes, enroll for parenting coaching, enroll. Just don't be an island to yourself. Know what is happening around. Know what is happening in the lives of your children. Yesterday, I had a meeting with the school. So another thing I do is I do strategic meetings with school authorities in terms of how to protect their children's mental health. And I'm so happy with this particular school because they are always ready to learn. Once they see a mistake in the school, they always seek for help. Or how can we get it? How can we get it? How can we repair this mistake? Or how can we put systems and policies in place so that we don't fall into this mistake? So as parents, you have no excuse. You have to get yourself educated. You have to get tools. You need to have open communication with your children. It's very important that you speak with them. Empower your children with knowledge and tools too. So it's not just you learning, you also have to teach your children, teach your children about these things. Guard, teach them to guard their personal information. It's not everything they have to share online. Their addresses, their school names, photos. One of the things I do with my daughter is when I take pictures of her and she's in her school uniform, I cover the badge of her school. Why am I doing this? To protect her, right? So it's not all the time we have to post everything. People are online watching, and some of them have evil intention towards the children. So it's important that we protect our children. Also, privacy setting. Let them know that they have to regularly update their setting on all social media platforms and apps, and they should avoid giving too many people their password. That's another thing I've noticed among adolescents. They tend to share their password. So maybe days their parents sees their phone, they have access to their Snapchat and Instagram on another person's phone. So I tell them they should avoid doing this. Also, let them explore child-friendly platforms. It's and most of the platform where things are happening are platforms that are actually meant for adults. So let's look for child-friendly platforms that they can actually engage in. Then also encourage open dialogue. Let your children be able to talk to you. When your children do not talk to you, it affects them. Because there are some children dying in silence. They just want to talk. Part of the things I do is I do counseling for adult. I do therapy. So as a family psychologist, I do therapy for adolescents. And when they come to my office, you see the way they just open up, because it's as if they've just been holding this thing. So immediately they see me, they just start pouring, they just start talking. Ma, do you know what happened? Ah, Miss T, oh, Psych T. They just go on and on and on and on. Our children want to talk. Let's teach them to speak with us. Encourage children to share who they talk to online. Make it a normal, judgment-free conversation. Let's avoid judging them. As parents, I know parents, we do a lot of judgmental thing, you know. Then also let them have on offline activities to replace their screen time. So the real world, let them is about connection and building confidence, resilience, and natural protection against online vulnerability. What are these offline activities they can do? Sports, outdoor adventures, art, music. I remember a particular patient I worked with, and in the process of working with her, working with the patient, identified certain skills that were latent that the patient never actually started doing. And because patient was off social media, off devices, the patient learned a lot of new skills. So let's our children have screen-free time where they can learn about art, music, reading. Then also family and community events, family game night, taking them to maybe the country club or um, football club or something that has to do with the family, and let them also be involved in local events happening around us. This will build their real world trust network and teach them how to connect with human beings, not just connecting with friends, virtual friends online. Okay, do we have questions? Let me see. If you have questions, please can type your questions in the chat box. Okay, oh, thank you so much. Oh, I have Duchess from Abuja. I have a teenager and adolescent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So who else do we have in the house? Like I said, let's say where we're watching from. Miss Olariwaju also joined. Thank you. We have Hazel. Okay, that was when we okay. Thank you so much. As you're joining, please, I would like you to tell us where you're watching from so that we can know you and yeah. Please, I would like us to be dropping comments in the comment section. What have you learned? What is happening? I've said a lot of things. Have you noticed any of these things with your children? What is happening? Tell me. Have you noticed anything with your children? Any of those strange things I mentioned, them isolating themselves, them getting moody because of their devices. Then what have you noticed with your children? Please, let's, or what is it I've said that is that that is resonating with you? Please type it in the chat box. Thank you. Okay, so I'm continuing with where I was. I spoke about I'm talking about real connection, how your children can build real connection, and how your children can, build real connection, and them building real connection with real friends online and offline. Because when children build strong offline relationship, they're less vulnerable to manipulation online. I want us to type, so I should type that. When children build strong offline relationship, they're less vulnerable to manipulation online. That's one thing we need to know as parents. Once your child can build strong offline relationship, they are less vulnerable to manipulation online. Okay, so what do you do if you suspect your child is being groomed, or somebody is stalking your child, or your child is being bullied? The first thing is that you need to teach your child. So the first thing is for you to listen to your child. As a parent, stay calm, listen to the child without judgment, without asking questions like, where were you? How did it happen? Is it only you? Why is it not happening to other people? Let's listen, and let's respond to them without judgment, so that your children can feel safe to speak with you. Very important. Then document everything. What do I mean by document everything? If there's still comment conversation online, let your child take screenshots. Things they are saying, negative things they're saying about your child, let your child take screenshots. Then we can contact the school authority. Like my friend that I said went to the school. She went to the school. She had evidences of what the children were doing to her daughter, and she went and she exposed the people that were bullying the child. Then let your children learn how to block and report. Like that person I said was harassing my housekeeper's daughter. We blocked the person of all this. So apparently the person was her friend on Facebook. So blocked on Facebook, blocked on WhatsApp and all that, you know, and reported the person, report to the account, to the platform. So if it's on Instagram, report. If it's on Facebook, report. If it's on WhatsApp, report the account. Now also we need to seek support, and that's where the smart parenting child and adolescent mental health platform also comes in. We provide support, psychosocial support to children when it comes to bullying, when it comes to stalking, and when it comes to online predators. Now as parents, what do you do? What do you teach your children? Teach children to step away. They should not respond. They should not, because responding escalates the conflict. So they should not just respond. However, they should be saving evidence. When they save evidence, so that we can use this evidence to block and report the person to moderators. Then, as parents, create an open channel of communication where your children can always speak with you. It's very important. Parents who their children cannot speak to, becomes very difficult for their children to confide in. So please, as parents, let us have that open channel of conversation where our children can always speak with us. Then also let's build resilience in our children. Let's build resilience in terms of helping to positive reinforcement, ability to bounce back, especially if the child is one that has been bullied. Each time I see this other girl that I said was bullied, that's my friend's my daughter's friend. I'm so happy seeing her because she's been able to bounce back. Her parents really worked with her, worked on her self confidence, and she's really, really doing a lot. Well, she's doing better now. Okay. Now, the last aspect of our conversation before I close is I have parents asking what is the right age for us to give our children internet enabled phone. One of the things I tell parents that it's not has nothing to really to do about the age, but has to do a whole lot about how responsible and how mature this child is. As parents, if all we do is we use devices as nanny or some things for children to not to disturb you, you are not helping the child. So it's important as parents that we teach our children about internet, about what they do online before we give them internet enabled phone. And that's why at the parental support group we have one of our ebooks, the the internet media guide for families, right? It's about the internet and about media, how we can guide. It's a guide. Inside the guide, we teach a whole lot what your children can say online, what your children can share online, what your children cannot share online, the right age for children to start using internet, the things you're meant to teach your children before you give them internet enabled phones. So some people say the right age is between the ages of 12 to 14. For me, I would say the best age is when the child is responsible and matured enough to withstand peer pressure, to withstand cyberbullying, and to withstand grooming process online. So most experts suggest 12 to 14 as a common range based on emotional maturity and demonstrated need. However, children with unrestricted early access are 3 times likely to be exposed to grooming and bullying. So it's important as parents that we know this. Children who are younger, who have early access to the internet, are 3 times likely to be exposed to grooming and bullying. Always start with parental control, start with restricted internet access before you now give them more privileges based on the level of maturity. This is very, 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 very important. Very important. Every child is different. Every child matures differently. Every child has different peers. Every child has the need for communication. However, it is different from each child. And all these factors should be put into consideration before giving the child an internet enabled device. It's not just the age of the child's level of maturity, the child's level of responsibility, the type of friends the person has, the need. What is the need for? What is the child using the internet for? Is it just for games or to do homework or to connect? You parents need to know this. Very, 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 very important. Okay, how do you build digital resilience over time? The foundation is in digital parental control. Next is educating your children. You need to educate your children, teach them about critical thinking. It's not everything they see online that is real. It's not every person that wants to be their friend online that has to be their friend online. Ensure there's open communication between you and your children, and also teach them about self-regulation, teach them about independence, teach them about being able to report when negative things are happening to them online. This will make them a safe digital citizen of the society. Okay, remember, guidance is best protection. No app or filter replaces an open, trusted relationship between you and your child. And I'll be stopping here for today. Thank you so much. Remember, guidance is the best protection. No filter, no app. No social media platform can replace that trusting relationship you have with your child. So, do we have questions? I want to say thank you to everyone who's joined. If you have questions, please let me know. I've spoken a whole lot about what online predators are, who online predators are. I spoke about the five grooming process. I spoke about signs to know if a child is being groomed. I spoke about um, things to do as parents if you notice that your child is being bullied in school, and how to protect the child from being bullied. And finally, I spoke about the right age to give your child an internet enabled device. I want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you so much. I had a lovely time interacting with you. However, I didn't get any questions. So I want to wait for, I have 4 minutes left before I sign out. If you have any question, please, I would love you to drop your question in the comment section. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. If you have a question, please drop your question in the comment section so that we can have the conversation, can answer question. Or if you want to drop it in the platform, you can drop your question on the platform. Yes, I said I was going to drop a link. I said I was going to drop a link. Let me see. I said I was going to drop a link. Let me look for the link. Yes. So this is the link for the video we were watching that some of you said you couldn't hear me. Where are you? Let me see. Okay. Um okay, so I've dropped the link. So this is the link for those of you who would like to watch the film. This is the link. I'll also drop this link on the general WhatsApp platform. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm not seeing any question. Thank you, Azel, for being part of this. Thank you, Duchess, Mr. Duchess. Thank you so much. The other people who joined, none of them commented. We have Ifela and Raju. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for everyone who's joined. All of you that joined, I didn't drop your comments. Eh? How did I know you are here now? Okay. Okay, so we can just say bye bye. I think we're close. We don't have any question. We can just say bye bye. If you've learned anything, just one thing you've learned that you're taking away, drop that as your comment. One thing you've learned that you're taking with you. One thing you've learned that you're taking with you. One thing you've learned that you're taking with you. Please drop it. Let me see that. Okay, so I said I'm more aware of how groomers operate. Thank you so much, Mr. Duchess, for sharing that. So I said I'm more aware of how groomers operate. Yes, online groomers. Thank you. Any other person? Before we have 1 minute to 9, then I log out. 1 minute to 9. So I want to say thank you to everyone. Have a nice evening. Um, Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your continued support and help in making me a better parent. Thank you always for joining our classes. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you too. So have a nice evening, everyone. Bye.